Hello, my fellow bookworms. If you are new to my channel, my name is Crystal. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video. Today, I'm doing a full review on Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. I know this book is getting so much hype right now because it just came out, and this is the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. The first book is Things We Never Got Over. A quick synopsis of this book. This book is about Nash and Lena. Nash is Knox's brother, and Lena is Knox's best friend. Sometimes their names were like confusing. Nash and Knox. I kept like getting them mixed up as I was reading. And if you haven't read the first book, Knox is one of the main characters from Things We Never Got Over. This book is not only about Nash and Lena's relationship, but it also deals heavily with a very traumatic event that Nash went through from the first book. So this book is also about the aftermath of that event and his healing process, his healing journey. He's going through a lot of mental health issues and things like that. So that is one of the main themes in this book. And Lena, who again is Knox's best friend, you do meet her in the first book, but you really get to know her in this book. Obviously, she's one of the main characters. And Lena is someone who is very strong. She's a little bit cynical. She's one of those women that doesn't really settle down. She just has a lot of casual relationships. She's very headstrong and independent. So she ends up coming to Knock 'Em Out for work, and she ends up living next door to Nash, the same like apartment complex. So sort of like a close proximity trope. They're not necessarily enemies, but they're not necessarily friends either, because they do live next door to each other now, and because they have the connection with Knox. They're kind of forced to be friends, I guess you could say. And then of course this book takes you through the dynamics of their relationship and their growth and all of that. This might upset some people. I did not like this book. I gave it 2 stars. Number one, this book, again, just like the first book, is entirely too long. It is almost 600 pages. Just don't understand why it's so long. It doesn't need to be. The first book, Things We Never Got Over, while I did end up really enjoying that book, it took me like 250 pages for me to even get into it. I also do have a full review of Things We Never Got Over up on my channel as well. I will link that video in the description if you want to watch it. It's a spoiler-free review, but I said the same thing in that review. The book was just so long, and I feel like it's unnecessarily too long. I also felt like this book was so slow throughout the whole entire thing. There were also so many cringy moments. Nash and Lena call each other all of these really corny, cringy pet names. There's just some really cringy writing. Let's just say that. And it never ended. It happened throughout the whole entire book, and I just found myself like, ooh. I am someone who is very picky with rom-coms, and this book is a prime example of why. Because they can get very cringy and very corny to me very easily, and this one did that. This one did that for me. Also wanted more humor. It is a rom-com after all, so I was expecting to laugh a little bit, and I feel like I didn't laugh at all. The first book, even though it was a little slow moving to start, there were at least a lot of funny moments. There was a lot of witty banter, and I found myself laughing out loud a lot in the first book. I did not get that with this one. Also, another main theme in this book is organized crime. Something happens in the first book that deals with organized crime, and that theme carries over into this book. But in my opinion, the organized crime aspect of it completely took over and overshadowed the romance that I was so desperately wanting in this book. If I wanted to read about organized crime, I would go and read a crime book, you know? I understand having touches of that in this one because that is part of the storyline. I wanted to hear more about the romance, the friendships, the family dynamics. I wanted a little bit more humor, very similar to the first book. Like, that's what I was expecting and what I was wanting. I found myself like skimming through those parts because I just didn't really care. I wanted more of Nash and Lena. I wanted more of their relationship. I wanted more of the romance. You don't even really get an intimate scene with them until like page 400. And at that point, I only have like 200 pages left and then the book is over. I know I've been talking about all the things I didn't like in this book. I will say the one thing that I did enjoy was all of the side characters. There's some enjoyable scenes in this book where all of them are together and they're interacting. There's even like a scene where they're all arguing, and that was really entertaining. It just felt like a family. I really did enjoy those. So I enjoyed the side characters, and I enjoyed those little scenes where the side characters were all together. So anyway, that is my review of Things We Hide from the Light. If you have read this book, I would love to know what you thought in the comments. Did you love it? Did you hate it? But hopefully if you haven't read this book, I hope this review doesn't deter you from reading it. I think there are still a lot of people who really love it, and you may be one of those people that ends up really loving this book. Anyway, I think that's it for my review. Sorry it wasn't a good one. At least I gave it a chance, you know? But again, thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in my next one.